Hello everyone, this is Alapac here from Alapac Sports. I know I haven't been doing any videos as often as I would want to, but that's going to change this week. This week is Tennessee week, hate week. We just got done beating UCF. And so, let's recap some few games over the weekend, some surprising games at that, and some games that, let's say I want my 2 cents input into it. Specifically because since there are a rival school in Florida. So, we're going to start this off with UCF versus Florida. UCF and Florida faced off yesterday at Florida. It was a very dominant game for Gators all around. We pretty much dominated all sides of the ball first half. Second half, we became conservative. My personal opinion, way too conservative. Billy, stop doing that. Score some points for sakes in your life, my man. Score some goddamn points. But UCF fell to the Florida Gators, 24-13, final. It ended off a pretty good game at home against UCF, giving us fans a little bit of hope of seeing some sort of comeback a bit, but we're also on the edge of wanting Billy to be fired still, so it's very conflicting at the moment, but we're glad we can take the win where we can get it. In all sorts of weather, Florida Gators come out on top on this one. Now, will that be our only win left on the schedule? No. I think FSU could be our next win, but that's way, way off. That's in November. From now to November, we do not know what's going to happen. Billy could get fired from now till then. Maybe he might we might make a turnaround without him as our head coach. We don't know. Our next game is Tennessee, which is next weekend. I will give my prediction and stuff on that when that comes out, or when I get to that point. Probably Wednesday or Thursday for that. But I'll get my prediction there, and you'll be surprised on who I choose, because I already have an inkling of who I want to choose from what happened today. Speaking of Tennessee. Tennessee went on the road to Arkansas, Razorbacks home, and they lost 19-14. They lost to the Razorbacks in a huge upset. They were favored by quite a lot, to be honest. And the Arkansas Razorbacks came in, did their business, took the win, stopped Tennessee, and gave them their first loss. If you would told me a week ago after Tennessee beaten Oklahoma that Tennessee would come into Arkansas and lose, I would say nah, they weren't capable of losing that game. But they did. They got complacent. The team got complacent. They thought, oh, we beat a top 25 team. We could come into Arkansas and just wax their ass. That's not how it works. This ended up looking like a trap game. Could next week be a trap game for them? Tennessee versus Florida. Two very heated fan bases going at each other. I am a Florida Gator. Through and through. I hate Tennessee. I hate Miami more right now. My mother is a Tennessee fan. It's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. But they lost to the Razorbacks. They got the first loss. They are now ranked 8th in the top 25. This is one thing I'm going to be talking about throughout this video. Between two separate teams. Both lost to an unranked team. Tennessee lost to Arkansas. Arkansas is unranked. They should have been kicked out of the top 10. Ain't gonna lie, they should have been kicked out of the top 10. If you lose to an unranked team, you should be dropped down a lot more than you are now. I do not agree with this. They should be at least top 15. Or at most top 15. At least top 25 in that frame. So, do they deserve the ranking? I don't think Tennessee deserves the ranking they're in right now. They could win out. Don't judge it like that. They could win out the rest of the season and go to the SEC Championship, and it could be worthy of that ranking. But at this point in time, they do not deserve that ranking right now. They do not deserve it. I will rank them in the top 25, from 10 to probably 25th, around that area. That's even be me being generous. 15 to top 25, around that area. Leave them there until they can prove that they can win their way back to the top 10. Not even that, top 5. I don't think they deserve top 8, being ranked number 8 right now. It's bull, but I can't do nothing about it. I can just express my opinion on it. Tennessee does not deserve this ranking because they lost to an unranked team. That being said, we're going to move on to our next team who lost to an unranked team as well, and they were number 1 in the nation. And that was the Crimson Tide. Alabama gets upsetted by Vanderbilt. You're not hearing that wrong. The worst team in the SEC beat the best team in the SEC this year. For that week. That was the best team in the SEC for that week. Alabama falls to Vanderbilt. 40-35. I was shocked. I was watching the game when they were up by, I think, 20-0. I think it's I'm pretty sure it was like 20-0 at one point. Then Alabama started doing a little comeback, but Vandy kept scoring and pushing out of the grasp of Alabama ever so more. As soon as I saw it, I was like, man, maybe Vandy can actually pull off the upset. Sure enough, 2-3 hours later, we are seeing Vanderbilt pull down their goalpost. The score is 40-35. Alabama has fallen to Vanderbilt. In probably the most shocking upset this weekend. Most shocking upset this weekend. Congratulations, Vanderbilt. You did something that nobody thought y'all could do. To be straight honest, nobody thought you could actually beat a top 10 team, let alone Alabama. But that shows you how much the SEC is changing, how much the teams are becoming more and more equal on equal basis. Yes, we still got our worst teams. I gotta admit, Florida is one of those bad teams at this time, because I don't think we'll be that bad going into the future. But at this time, we are one of the worst teams. But seeing Vanderbilt actually pull off an upset like that gives me a revigorated hope and very, very much a revigorated look into how the SEC is changing altogether in this new era of college football. And it's giving me hope for those underdogs to actually come up and rise up and win games and start winning and becoming like powerhouse schools. Vanderbilt's not known for football. They're known for academics and stuff. But every so often, they may pull off an upset or two. This one seems to be a really good upset. It could have a very much a domino effect for them going into the future. I would keep an eye on Vanderbilt. This might not be the only upset they could pull off. This might not be. We don't know. So, Alabama falls to Vanderbilt. But you're probably asking Alo, where does Alabama fall to? Like, what ranking they are at? Alabama falls from number 1 to number 7. This is another team that does not deserve to be in the top 10. Just because their history says they can go back to being a playoff contender does not mean they are. They lost to Vanderbilt, a unranked school. Unranked. You should drop further than that. Just like Tennessee, I will kind of say that Alabama should be ranked at least top 10, like 10 to 15 rankings. Around that ranking, that's where Alabama should drop. Unlike Tennessee, who should have dropped further because they are further back on the ranking. I see that Alabama did not, and I'm starting to get concerned that maybe rankings don't matter anymore. What's the point of rankings anymore? To be straight honest, if the championships and the follow-ups to the champions are the ones going into the college football playoffs, what's the point of rankings anymore? I don't see a point now. Especially with this is showing straight up that the rankings don't matter anymore. They don't fall as far. So I'm starting to see a little bit of a contradiction, but there's nothing, like I said, nothing I do. Those are the two teams that should have fallen further in the rankings, but it is what it is. We'll leave it at that. Now we are on to the final subject of today. It has been the thing I would like to rant about and put in my own video. I don't want to get heat from those Miami wannabes. Frauds. The reason why I say that, Miami nearly lost to California. Miami nearly lost. They should have lost to Cal. But due to a ref saying something about non-targeting when it was clearly targeting, saved their ass. They got bailed out. Albeit, Cal should have never let them come back in the first place. But if that call went through, Miami would not have won this game. Straight up, Miami would not have won this game. They got bailed out. Miami got bailed out. Straight up. Straight up. Miami got bailed out. I think it was 40 to 41. I have to look back on it. But as a Florida Gators fan, after our game had ended, we seen all these other teams lose. It was looking like a really good weekend for us. Straight up, it was going to be the perfect weekend for a Florida fan for us to talk crap. Until Miami pulled out the bailout. Well, I'm going to officially call it the Miami bailout. Because that's what happened. Refs, 2 weeks in a row, bailed them out from losing a game. 2 weeks in a row. Make that make sense. Trust me. Their just desserts are coming. If not next week, if by the ACC championship, they are not going to win that ACC championship, and they are not going to even beat anybody in the playoffs. I dare the Miami fans to come on here, comment down below in your little fucking text boxes, and say, "Oh, you're a Florida fan. We beat y'all 41 to fucking 14." I don't care. We knew we sucked. We had hope that our coach could change and develop for the better, but he did not. That was on him. And he's going to get his just desserts as well, eventually. Miami fans, y'all are being way too cocky for your own good. When y'all get humbled, don't be crying like FSU did. Look what they are dealing with right now. They're 1-5. What happens if next year Cam Ward is not there? What happens if Restrepo is not there? And y'all go the same record as FSU. I'm going to come back on here and I'll tell you I told you so. Because I promise you, that's most likely what's going to happen. This has been the man, the myth, the Gator onesie wearer, Alapack, signing off. Goodbye, y'all.